with your program Mind Up, which is part of your foundation, you're trying to help relieve the kinds of stresses that you have felt through your life that children now experience, to help them lead a less stressful life. Why did you start this, and what's the satisfaction that you get from it, Goldie?
Well, first of all, children have been my,
Passion,
philanthropy.
yeah.
But after 9/11, I really looked at, as I knit into my American flag, which I was knitting the American flag, crying into it, thinking, what's going to happen to our children? Well, how are they going to be able to deal with the stresses of this time period? And what are we giving them in school? How are we teaching them? And I was a student of the brain, studying neurobiology, also studying psychology, and also being a long time meditator, and understanding the value of what we feed the brain is what the brain actually can do. Therefore, I put together a program called Mind Up, and I called in neuroscientists to be part of it, positive psychologists to be part of it, and teachers and practitioners, and created the Mind Up program, which is now serving over 500, close to 600,000 children today.
Throughout the world, yeah. What has it been like for you to see those tools implemented in the classroom? Do you have a specific story?
Yeah, there's stories, definitely tools. We have 15 lessons. The book, basically, anybody can have this trained in their classroom. Call the HawnFoundation.org. You can get this in your classroom with the excitement about your principal.
But I loved it. One of the things I read about Mind Up was a story about a boy whose dad had gone to war, and he was very upset, and they used the principles to help the boy.
Right. Well, it was actually what happens in the classroom is we build empathy. And we also build an understanding of the brain. So we teach brain science to children. And with that, they understand what quieting the brain and the mind does to the brain. And it opens up their learning pathways. And this is what they learn, which changes the entire culture of the classroom. And one of the stories is that a little boy came in, and he was crying. And the teacher wasn't in yet. And now she comes in, and the kids are crying, and they're sitting in their circle, which they call their mindful circle, and by themselves. Now the teacher said, what is happening? And one of the little boys said, he's crying because his dad was leaving to go to Iraq, and he was afraid he'd never see him again. And one little boy then chimed in and said, well, I couldn't see my dad for months because he's been in jail, and I can't see him. And another little boy said, I know, I couldn't see my dad because he had brain cancer, and they wouldn't let me go see him. Now, the little boy stopped crying. All these other little boys, and by the way, this was not a boys' school, it's a boys and girls school. They were in 4th grade. They were able to help each other. No one said feel empathy. No one said do this. That's what we build in the classroom, a caring, loving classroom.
That comes naturally.
And
it's such a wonderful program, Goldie.
It's a beautiful program.
Thank you so much.